Hello and welcome to another Jynn Does Art. This time around it's not going to be a dinosaur, okay? I hope that's alright. Instead, I'm going to paint this Pegasus like my Red Dead Online horse. I thought that would be fun. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Online. I love my horsey in it. The Appaloosa is my favorite kind of horse, so I thought, this could be kind of fun and exciting. So this is actually quite heavy. It's similar to ceramic, but it's not quite ceramic. It's not hollow either. It is from, I don't know if you can see that. It's from Windstone Editions, which do some really nice, high-quality statues. They have a lot of pre-painted ones, but they also sell a couple unpainted ones that you can paint yourself. So I thought that might be something kind of nice and different to do. Plus, like I said, I've really been enjoying Red Dead Online. I love my horse in Red Dead Online. It actually just makes me happy just to ride around and enjoy the Appaloosa I have. So I thought this could be kind of fun. I did do a mock-up of my horse just so I had a reference while I'm out here. I did very simple block colors. I basically did it like I do my dinosaur designs. Very simplified, very blocky colors, very angular. And then I added some wings. And I decided to go with red-tailed hawk inspired wings because they're fairly similar to the Appaloosa in colors. And American horse, American bird. But yeah, I figured I could paint more than dinosaurs for you guys. I also have like this resin dragon bust, which I could paint for you guys as well if you wanted me to. I mean, I have stuff I can paint that isn't dinosaurs. I still have Zool. I haven't started painting Zool yet, so, you can look forward to that eventually too. And I have the dragon, and I have other dragons. Hold on. Ooh. And, I have, other unpainted things that I could paint for you guys if you want, we're curious about it. So, that is an option. It doesn't have to be dinosaurs. I'm happy to paint. It just depends on if people actually care and if I should put in the work for it, you know what I mean? Anyways, so we are going to paint today my Pegasus like an Appaloosa. It shouldn't be too difficult. It's not using too many colors. Painting something like ceramic, or this is like a resin stone. They use a weird mixture, but it's basically like a really heavy-duty, more durable ceramic. And painting this is a little bit different than repainting a plastic toy or repainting or painting resin, or this is actually metal, this is pewter. So I mean, painting something that's like ceramic kind of material is very different from painting pewter, resin, or plastic. So I'll go into how that's different as we go, just for those of you who might be interested in painting something that isn't plastic. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, sorry, I actually just had to make sure that my volume was okay with that first intro, and it seems like it's alright, though I do notice my webcam is not focusing on details very well. I have a cheap webcam. Oh no, here comes the cat. Kitty cat, no, I'm just getting started. What are you doing? No, cat. No, kitty cat, come on. Come on, I was just... No, get your nose out of the water. Okay, alright, get back on the floor. Sorry, that was an unexpected interruption by my cat. So, one of the first ways painting ceramic or like this Windstone resin, stone resin material is different than plastic or the harder resin or pewter is it's what's called I want to do air quotes here, thirsty. So the first couple layers you're going to put on it are going to absorb into it and fade a little. So you're going to want to do a couple of coats. Like for like a plastic... repainting a plastic toy, you prime it, like I did with this one, to obscure the previous colors, and then you do a base coat, and then you just go from there. But on something that's thirsty, it's going to absorb the first couple layers of paint, not like entirely. It's not going to like disappear, all the paint's going to disappear. It's not going to be as crisp and bright as later coats because the stone is going to absorb some of the paint. So you want to do a couple of coats first, just to... it's hard to describe, but to feed it basically. And we are going to start with a off-white because we're doing the Appaloosa. So it's mostly going to be creams and white, brown, or hold on. So it's going to be creams and white on the body, a brown face, brown down the neck and chest, brown legs, black tail, black mane, and then the wings are going to have the gray striping and be mostly creams as well. So it's a lot of cream colors. And we're going to start with an off-white as the base coat, and we're just going to slather the entire thing with it. I'm going to try and be better and have my stuff actually under the camera when I'm painting instead of off screen, because I want to hold it like under my face over here, which is out of camera range. So I have to hold it over here. But yeah, so we are going to, I want to make sure I try and get in camera. So we're going to just start slathering. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but it even has like, it's not smooth, it even has like fur details. So, you know, that's going to be fun. I'll show you some tricks for bringing out the details on this kind of material later, but right now we're just base coating everything. And that's including the black areas, everything. I'm going to do everything in this color. Because like I said, the stone is thirsty. The stone needs to be covered so it has some paint to soak up, and then it'll be ready to go. This is such a nice off-white. This is such a nice cream color, like it's the perfect ideal color I want to use for this too. Because I kind of already have in my mind what color's going to go where, and this cream color is going to be a perfect shadow for the white. Because you don't want to just like solidly paint something. Or at least I should say, when I paint like my model dinosaurs, I kind of don't worry about highlights and shadings. But when I paint these statues here, I like to you want to put some shading in there. Because, I don't know, for me it's different. Repainting a model dinosaur or a dinosaur toy is very different to painting one of these Windstone figures. And I've painted a lot of these, but it has been a while, so I am a bit rusty when it comes to painting these because I haven't painted one in a long time. But yeah, we're going to just cover literally everything. Every crevice, every nook and cranny we can. We're just going to cover in this creamy color. That's going to give us a solid base coat to go off of, and it's also going to give the paint, or the stone, a little bit to soak up, so we don't have to worry about it doing that with our later colors. And like I said, I'm really trying to stay in camera this time. I have a tendency to drift off camera as I paint, because I want to hold it closer to my face. I don't have a good webcam, I'm sorry. If I start doing this more regularly, maybe I'll buy a new webcam, you know. But I need to be doing this more regularly if I'm going to. And also, sorry, but I don't really feel like revealing my face. Yeah, I know a lot of people want me to, but oops, sorry. I keep whacking my webcam with I have a really long handle on this brush, and it gets very close to this webcam as I'm doing this. But as you can see, we're just doing a solid color of cream. Now this does have fine details like the fur and stuff, so you don't want to go like too thick on it, because you might like then start filling up those fur crevices, and then it's gonna like basically become smooth. But luckily, I actually think we're only gonna need one coat of this base coat. We're not gonna have to do it multiple times, because it doesn't look like it's fading too much as the stone absorbs it. Now another thing that's different about painting on this kind of stone instead of plastic is it's harder to blend, because the stone kind of soaks it up a little. It means doing wet blending is harder because it dries faster. Like, this is already dry. This isn't wet at all. It's already dry. So it dries really fast. Now, this does mean that we'll probably get done painting faster because I don't have to wait for stuff to dry. But it also makes blending things a lot more difficult because you have less time to do it while the paint is wet, because the paint dries pretty much instantly. Like, there is a little bit on my finger from touching the stuff I just put down, but if I touch this leg I just did, there's nothing. So yeah, it dries really fast. You want to keep that in mind if you're painting a Windstone or something of a similar material. I do like the Windstones. They're a little pricey, but especially the pre-painted ones, but they are really nice. The artist is quite talented. She's been doing this for a very long time, but yeah, I'm really glad they make unpainted ones that I can paint myself. I will hope they get more variety eventually, because they don't have like a lot of options, but they do have some stuff. But they are a bit more expensive. She handcrafts them, she hand sculpts them, and then they cast molds of it. So they're technically handmade. They're just casts of something that's handmade. There are pre-painted ones where I'll hand painted those, so you're not getting anything mass produced there. I don't have very many of those because again they're expensive because you're paying for the time and effort as well as the product. So I don't have a lot of those, but they're fun too. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll continue. Save my voice for a tiny bit because I don't know how long this is gonna take. Hello and welcome back. So I have covered the entirety of the statue in that cream color. And normally I say go from light to dark. We're gonna mix it up a little bit, and now we're gonna do pure white on top of the cream. But that's because, like I said, with this kind of material that we're working with, things work a little differently. It's a completely different ball game compared to painting a plastic toy or even a pewter miniature. So using my reference drawing that I did for myself, I'm going to now put white where I want white to go. And we have a little bit of cream if we need to bring the shadows back in. I need to hold it out here where you guys can actually see. But I mean, as you can see, even though we're painting white on top of dark, it works. Now, it might not work so well if we were painting on top of like black, but it is still going to work. Because, like I said, this material behaves so completely differently than anything else that I've painted. Like, a very different ballgame. Like pewter and repainting a plastic toy, they work kind of the same. Like, there's a couple of differences, but for the most part, they're basically the same. Now, the cream is going to show through. We're going to want to paint over it a bit more times where we can see that cream coming through, so we have a more solid white area. And like I said, we can bring the shadows back in later. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to be trying to like cut away when I just have a lot of filling in of blank spaces to do, because it does take a lot out of me to sit out here and talk and paint and all that. So if I can give myself a break now and then, I'm going to. Also, I forgot to mention, it has no eyeballs. That's because it has eyes we're going to glue in at the very, very end. So I don't have to paint the eyes, I just have to glue them in when I'm done. So that'll be fun. When I used to paint these a lot more often, I bought like taxidermy eyes so I could get like better colors, but I don't paint these as much as I used to. So I'm going to add a little bit more cream. We're going to go along this joint of where the leg is folded over itself. We're going to do a smooth blending because this cream is going to be our shadow color for the white, because it needs to have some shadows in there. There we go. And we can get darker shadows like in this hollow where the inside of the legs are, but we'll do that later, not right now. Right now I want this hindquarters to be very white. Because that's like a big rounded area that is going to catch a lot of light. So we're going to want that to have a lot of white there. And the shadows are going to be confined to just the creases in the legs and anywhere there's like a little bit of overlap. Put a little bit on the upper leg, just a tad. And we're going to want to put some under where the wing folds over the body, because that's going to be casting a shadow on the body. Hopefully my webcam is picking this up. Like I said, I don't have the greatest webcam. And if I don't want to buy a new one if I'm not going to be painting often for you guys, because, that's money I could be using for more important things. I'm glad people like my painting videos, but I don't know, if it's worth buying a webcam for it, because I don't know how often I'm really going to do it. I know it's not Path of Titans, and a lot of people are here for Path of Titans, so. And at least the other painting videos were dinosaurs, but I don't, sometimes I want to paint other stuff. All right, so we're going to just bring a little bit of that cream up in there. We're going to have a little bit more of it down here, because there is brown along the belly. So we don't want to bring the white all the way down, because that's going to be brown down there at the very bottom. But we can bring some of that cream down, because that's going to be shaded. white color is going to be shaded as the belly curves. So we're going to want to keep that cream down here. Now, it does extend down the legs, but this leg should be fine because that's going to be brown the rest of the way. We're going to add a little bit more white. Sorry, I'm going off camera again. Add a little bit more white in here. Like I said, I want these hindquarters to be quite white. Oops, sorry, I'm whacking my camera again. All right, we're going to do the shoulder now. And shoulder goes down. We're going to stop the white just above the knee because the lower leg is brown on my horse. And the front of the chest is brown, so we're not going to worry about painting that white either. But the white does go up the neck. So we are going to want to bring the white up there. Sorry, I just realized I'm off camera again. I'm sorry, it's hard when I'm looking at this, not at my laptop where I have the webcam display, and I lose track of myself as I'm painting. So I'm going to do the back of the elbow a little bit more cream. Do a little bit of cream on this front of the elbow where it's kind of creased in a little bit. There we go. See? It's working out all right. And now the white does go up the neck, not the front of the neck, but the back of the neck. We're going to just follow this muscle that is picked out so cleanly right there. Don't worry if you go over onto the mane. That's going to be black. That's going to just, everything's going to go over that. Like when I paint that black, it'll cover anything that's there. So no worries on that. We're going to go up, 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 but not into the face, just behind the ear. Because that is where my horse's brown ends in the game, and I'm trying to paint my beloved Appaloosa from the game. So, is that focusing or is that not focusing? I can't quite tell. Anyways, now I get to do the other side. Yeah! But again, just like before, I think I might stop for a moment, let my voice rest while I catch up the other side to this side. And then we'll start adding the brown in. Alright, hello, welcome back. So now we have our white done. I also did up the wings because I forgot the wings need to be white too. I do see more of the cream coming through, especially on the wings. Again, thirsty stone. It's probably going to need another layer, but we're going to have to do the wings again anyways. So, actually, hold on. I do see a little weird color there. I'm not sure where that came from. Yeah, you don't make things disappear quick on this material. Yeah, thirsty stone needs more of a layer. So when doing something like the feathers, there's a lot of detail. It's easiest to go with the grain on the detail. Like, don't go back and forth against the feather grain. Go with the feather grain. You'll find that it blends more smoothly that way. So yeah, we got all the white done. Now it's time, hold on, to add the brown. But I do not want to add the brown on top of a wet paintbrush, so we're going to just dry that off real quick. Sorry about any of the noises. All right, we have a nice regular brown color that matches pretty well to my horse. So we are going to just put some of that down and start covering all the brown areas, which is the bottoms of the legs, the head, front of the neck and chest, and the backs of the wings. We're not doing the spots until the very, very end. So, yeah, let's get started. We're gonna just go over the foot. Make sure to get in all the little hair details. We could go over the hoof. You know what? Let's just go over the whole hoof. Why not? We're going to repaint the hoof with black anyways. So it's going to be a bit spotty, as you can see. It's not like a smooth coverage. We're going to need to do a couple of layers on that. You just couldn't tell so much with the white and the cream because they're so light, but this is normal. Now I want to make sure I do not get brown over the white, because like I said, trying to make a color disappear on this is very difficult. So if I get if I get dark on the white, it's going to be a pain to remove it. Now we can, if we get it up here on the flank, we can disguise it as a spot later on in the, sorry, this is kind of a tricky area to paint. We can disguise it as a spot later on if we make a little boo-boo like that, so it's not the end of the world. Now the brown color does go up into the underbelly on my horse. I looked at my horse a lot in game to try and get all the details right. Because she's a good little Appaloosa and I like to use her in the game, and I thought, you know what, it's gonna be, I like Appaloosas quite a bit. I'm gonna paint a statue like her. Like my good old Appaloosa girl. Sorry, I'm just kind of concentrating here, trying to make sure I don't mess anything up. This brown is not covering as well as I would like it. We're gonna have to do a couple more layers on it. Sorry, the statue is also kind of heavy, so having to hold it up like this under the camera is a bit tiring, which is another reason why I've been taking those little breaks to finish, because then I could just like put it down here and paint, but you guys can't see very well if I put it down there. But I might have to for this, because trying to tilt this and hold it is a bit of a pain. Like, it's not like, oh my god, super heavy, but it is heavy enough where it gets taxing holding it for too long a period of time. Alright, we need to do just the barest underbelly color here. And it's okay if it's not smoothly blended, because it's not smoothly blended on the actual horse. It's not a smooth blend, it's a pattern, so... we don't want it to be too rough and fuzzy edged, though. So, yeah, like I said, it might not look great right now, but I wonder if I add some of this yellow color, if that'll help it smooth out a little. This yellow color was going to be the highlight, but hold on, I'm gonna just experiment a little bit here with like a bit of color mixing and see if that helps smooth the coverage out of it. Because I'm not sure why it's going on so patchily compared to the rest. I mean, it does come on patchily, but it shouldn't be that patchy. So we're just gonna experiment a little. Sorry if I'm off camera right now. I'm just trying to make sure oh shoot, no. We got my finger. We got yellow on my. It's all right. We'll make those into spots later. But yeah, gotta be careful. How did I get yellow in my finger? I don't know. It's okay, it's all right. We can turn those into Appaloosa spots. Luckily, we're making an Appaloosa, so we can make mistakes like that into spots and say, look, it was deliberate. Yeah. Totally meant to do that. No, I didn't, but I'll fix it with I'll make it into Appaloosa spots, and no one will know unless they watch this video. Then they'll know. Trying to be careful here, because the upper leg is not white, the lower leg is not brown, the lower leg is brown. We gotta have those two colors side by side, and we don't want to goober onto it, so we're gonna try and be very careful. Very careful here. It's still going on very patchily. But we'll figure out what to do about that later. Let's just get the first coat on, and then we'll worry about it. You see, we got the brown legs going now. It'll look better, I promise. It'll look better. All right, hold on. We're gonna add a little bit of this this yellowy tan color. It's not the color I want to be, but it gets the consistency right, and then we can get the proper color on top of it once the consistency's right. It's so dark over there. Why did it get so dark on this leg? Sorry, we'll add this yellow in as the highlight. And then we'll add a little bit of this down here at the bottom to help it to be the brown shadow. Like, adding that gold color really does help its consistency for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But it does, so I'm not going to complain. Try not make sure I don't paint like too quickly and start making mistakes like goobering on the white, like I've already done once. We don't want to do more, so we want to minimize the bad goobers like that. We don't want to do that over and over again. All right, you know what, I'm going to clean my finger off real quick just so I don't make mistakes like that all over the place. I'm not even sure how I got that color on my finger, but whatever. All right, so now we're gonna paint the entire front of the horse, including the legs. Now the inside of the legs is brown, so we don't have to worry about maintaining the white color. Sorry if I'm going off camera. I'm trying to see at the same time as paint and make sure I stay in camera range. So we're just gonna slather all of it with brown. We'll do shading and whatnot later. I just want to make sure we get a nice even coating of brown. I don't want to break my statue either, so I need to be careful with how I'm handling it. They can take a couple of knocks, but not like all too much, so I don't want to like accidentally whack it and chip something off of it. All right, got the tricky part of the legs done. So now we can just paint entirely up to the front. I'm gonna try and go very carefully over this neck area. Just like that. We'll do the same on the other side. Again, I'm trying to follow the natural contours of the body. I'm trying to follow the contour muscles just as a guiding point for where to put the brown. And also that'll make it, you know, that'll just make it look nicer. If it follows the neck muscles, it'll just look a little neater. I know it's not technically realistic because, you know, coat pattern doesn't follow muscles like that, but it's okay. It's a fantasy animal. I can make it look how I want. We could probably, sorry, I'm getting off camera again trying to do this. Probably smooth this out a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of that gold color just to fix our consistency once more. I don't know why this smooths it out, but it smooths it out. Now I'm not adding water to my brushes because again, this is a very thirsty stone and you don't want to soak it with water. That helps a little bit. Maybe this brown color was too thick. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we need to just keep adding this gold color to fix the thickness issue. I think that might be what it is. I think the paint is the brown paint I'm using is actually too thick for what I'm trying to do. I mean, we're making progress. We're making progress. Doesn't look like much right now, but I swear it's going somewhere, all right? It's going somewhere. We're gonna just cover the face and ears now, but gotta be careful because we don't want to get it onto the neck. Gotta get inside the nostrils, in the line that makes up the mouth. Sorry, I'm whacking the camera again. Whoops. Gotta get under the chin. Oh, I'm getting sloppy. I'm getting sloppy. Gotta slow down, Jynn. Slow down. You're going too fast. You're making mistakes. The people don't mind if the video is long because you took your time. It's alright. Like I said, a lot of the mistakes we make, we can change into Appaloosa spots, but I would like to not make mistakes if possible. And we are going to get inside the eye socket, too. There, you see. Sorry, I know it really doesn't look like much, but it will. I promise it will. It's never pretty doing the initial paint stage. It's never a pretty step. I was hoping this would go on smoother. I wasn't expecting this brown paint to be so thick. But it is quite thick. I think that is causing some of my problems is it's too thick. That's right, I'll just start mixing it with this gold color. It might not be the exact color I was going for, but it'll go on the model better, the statue better. Sorry, I'm off camera again. I'm sorry. I get caught up in painting and I pull the statue to where it's comfortable to paint and then I realize I'm not on camera. And I don't want to have myself on camera, so I have to have it set over here and paint under it, which means I need to paint like this. Well, a big reason why I don't want to have myself on camera is because I kind of get a lot of creepy comments as it is, just for being a girl on YouTube, and that's without a webcam, and I can only imagine that the creepy people that comment, and I delete their comments quick, but the creepy people that comment will just get worse if I use a webcam. And I don't really want to deal with that nonsense, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here to be attractive on YouTube. I don't care. I'm married. I don't need to try and be attractive. I'm not saying I'm ugly or anything. I like to think I'm fairly average. But, yeah, I don't want to deal with creepy people on YouTube. I mean, like I said, I already get creepy comments, and I don't want to deal with that, you know? I imagine you all understand. Besides, I'm nothing special to look at. There's no need to have a webcam. Now, like I said, I'm not on YouTube to make money, so I don't need the, oh, I'm a girl on webcam. Come watch my channel. That's not me. That's not how I do things. If people don't like me for me, then they don't have to watch me. Doesn't matter what I look like. Alright, so now we have the face, the front of the chest. We could probably do, you know what, I think we need more brown on the neck, because the brown neck is visible from the side of the horse. So I think we need to expand that out, because right now it's kind of just the front of the neck, and that way we can correct our little boo-boo here that we made. We can kind of fix that. We can fix that a little bit if we just bring this brown out a little bit more to the side of the neck like that. Same on the other side. Just bring it out a little bit. Just like that. Lovely. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along so far. There are no legs on this side to paint. However, we do need to do the tops of the wings, which are brown as well. So once again, I'm going to try my new mixture of brown and, you know what, I'm just going to put this down and paint it here. Sorry, I know this is probably a terrible angle, but my hand's getting a little tired holding this thing. I'll probably take a short break after this, just so I can rest my hand and get a drink, because my throat's feeling a little dry from all this talking and inhaling paint. Haha, I probably should be in a better ventilated area. But that's okay. And after this, we'll add the basic black, and then we'll start the detailing, which is always an exciting step. That's where things start to really come together, is when you start the detailing. That's like adding the shadows, adding like the color to the stripes to the wings, stuff like that. So let me finish this up, grab a drink, take a moment to rest my hand and my voice, and we'll be right back. Alright, so I'm still not happy with how the brown's looking, so I'm trying something new. If it focuses on the face, I am mixing white with the brown. Hopefully you can see the difference it makes to the face compared to the feet. I don't know if the camera focuses well enough, but it makes a huge difference to me. So we're going to keep doing that. So basically I'm mixing white with the brown, and then I'm just going over what I already did. And it makes it lighter. I'm going to have to add more layers of brown, but it no longer has that weird look to it that I'm not sure why is happening. I was wondering if it was because my paint was too thick, but adding white seems to be making it do better. So I'm just gonna go over it with this new white-brown mixture. And then we'll start adding shadows and whatnot. I want the main brown to look good before I start the next step. So, and as I was experimenting, I was like, oh, I probably should, put this on camera and say what I'm doing. Not that I think any of you are going to be like following my footsteps, but it helps to just cover everything I'm doing. And I also made it very sloppy around here, so I'm going to try and clean that up with a little bit more brown. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be symmetrical, because animals are usually not symmetrical when it comes to patterns. But I don't want it to be, like, too outlandishly, crazily different. Yeah, this is working out better. It's a little bit lighter of a brown color than I was intending, but you know what? It looks better, and that's all that really matters. And like I said, we can always add more of the dark brown to it later. But right now, I'm just worried about trying to get it to look good as is, not worried about the future. Because we can always add more dark brown on top of it once we have a smooth layer.